G'day everyone and welcome to the round 4 wrap-up video after what was a pretty crazy week of AFL fantasy, a round which will probably turn out to be season defining for a lot of coaches out there. I've seen some pretty decent scores being posted this week, so for me I scored a disappointing 2090, slightly under par again for the third straight week, which is disappointing. I increased in the rankings by around 1,000 spots, but yeah, 14,000 is not where I would like to be. Some poor decisions being made so far this year in terms of my trades and even the rookies that I've decided to field, the ones that I've decided to bench. I just have not got that right so far, so that's something I need to work on. Still a long way to go into the season and plenty of time to improve, so now I'll get stuck into my team. But first we'll have a look at the trades I made going into this round, and I decided in the end to go against bringing Brad and Bruce in for one of the big two rucks, which was a good move in hindsight, and I ended up trading Jack Hayes to Marcus Windhager. Pretty much just a cash grab there, which allowed me to trade out Josh Trushelli up to Tom Green, and yeah, it didn't quite work out this week, but hopefully that will pay off in the long term. I probably went a bit early on Rochelle after seeing what he scored this afternoon. So now I'll get stuck into my team, starting with the defenders. Jack Chris 100. Nice to see a good solid score from him, and hopefully he can be a bit more consistent in his scoring moving forward. Lockie Whitfield 96. Again, frustrating. He just doesn't seem to have the ceiling he did a few years back, so as frustrating as it is, I think we've just got to ride it out with Whitfield. George Hewitt 115. I don't think this guy had a ceiling a couple of weeks back, but then he goes and posts back-to-back 110 plus scores, which is just awesome. And yeah, he looks to be a season-long keeper at this stage. He's just been an awesome pick, George Hewitt. James Sicily 84. A nice solid score from him, and can't complain there. Daniel Rioli 102. I've given him my MVP of the round, actually, Daniel Rioli, mainly just because he's been such a great pick for me. I thought it was a bit risky bringing him in after round 1, but yeah, he's been very serviceable and very reliable, so great work, Daniel Rioli. Paddy McCartan 36. Now, this one really hurt. As you can see, Nathan O'Driscoll 109 is sitting there on the bench with the emergency on him, which is, yeah, not many words to describe that really, just very, very painful. And yep, that's AFL fantasy for you. And then, yep, Nathan O'Driscoll, as I mentioned, 109. Wasn't he fantastic? I just wish I could have enjoyed that score a bit more if I had him on my field, but at least I have him, and yeah, he looks to have kept his spot in that Dockers side. Then Sam de Koning, 35. He's not a scorer, and he's just, as I said last week, just a heartbeat at D8 at the moment. Now onto the midfield. Jack McRae, who I placed the vice captaincy on and ended up taking his score as captain for 260, which was just awesome. It was great to see him bounce back from that frustrating 75 he had last week, and yeah, 130 as captain was very handy for me in what was a pretty tough round for myself, so well done to Jack McRae. Patrick Cripps 36. Unfortunately, he tweaked his hammy towards the end of the first quarter, I think it was, and yeah, that just goes to show how much luck plays a part in fantasy footy. Patrick Cripps has definitely been the pick of the season to date, and yeah, those who made the right decision in starting with him unfortunately have copped it here, and those who didn't have him have got a leg up on the rest of us, so yeah, just goes to show how much luck plays a part, and just very, very unfortunate, and that's how fantasy footy goes sometimes. Lockie Neal 98. He was awesome actually, and he had to cop that O'Connor tag, so I'll definitely take 98 from him this week. Tom Green, who I brought in this week, 78. He was a little disappointing, obviously. Would have loved a bit more from him, especially the week I traded him in. Apparently he spent a lot of time at half forward and didn't attend too many CBAs, which is not ideal and not exactly what I wanted to hear, but yeah, the jury is a bit out on him, but hopefully he can bounce back, Tom Green. Stephen Canelio, 61. down week for Cogs, but yeah, he's still been a good pick so far, so I think we just got to cop that one. Jai Caldwell, 69. Yeah, again, frustrating. He spent more time in the midfield noticeably this game, but yeah, just didn't translate into scoring and had a very poor last quarter, only scoring the 4 points. So yeah, have a close look at him and see what I do with him moving forward, because he's just not quite posting the scores I would like at the moment. Then Nick Dacos, 126. Wow, what more can you say? He was just awesome. He would be short odds to win the Rising Star at this point, and rightfully so. He looks like he's been playing for around 5 to 10 years. He's just slotted in seamlessly to that Pies side, and only a week to go until he gets defender status too, which is just going to be awesome and very handy. So yeah, well done, Nick Dacos. Josh Ward, 27. Not too sure what happened there. I didn't see that game, but yeah, it looks like he struggled a bit there. As you can see, I had Jason Horne-Francis, 94, sitting on the bench, which rubs a bit more salt into the wound there. So disappointing this week from Josh Ward, and yeah, he could be one on the chopping block this week. Then onto the bench, Horne-Francis, 94, as I just mentioned. Yeah, he played considerably more midfield minutes, and he lapped that opportunity up, scoring 94. He actually didn't score a single point, I don't think, in the last quarter, so that score could have been even bigger. So he'll definitely be on my field. I'm not going to make that mistake moving forward, and yeah, good to see him show a bit more of a ceiling this time around, Horne-Francis. Then on to Jackson Mead, 57. He looked actually pretty decent, I would thought, watching that game. A game that Port, yeah, they were just atrocious, weren't they? But I'm pretty confident Jackson Mead will hold his spot, and yeah, he's been solid so far. The Rucks, and boy, did the big two bounce back this week. Max scoring 140. He looked unstoppable on Thursday night. He was clunking marks all around the ground, clunking them up forward, clunking them down back, and yeah, just looked like the Max Gawn of old, and great to see him post a massive score that we know he's capable of. Brodie Grundy, 124, same goes for him. Looked like the Brodie Grundy we've come to know over the past few years, posting huge scores, and yeah, 124 from him was fantastic, and it was just great overall to see the big two ruck combo bounce back and once again prove that they're going to be the top two rucks this year. So it's great to see them bounce back this week. Onto the bench, Hugh Dixon, 75, which was fantastic from him, and that will help out a lot for my cash generation moving forward. So great score from Hugh Dixon. Now onto the forwards, Josh Dunkley, 129. He's been awesome so far this year, and yeah, how lucky are we to have him as a forward in fantasy this year? It's just an absolute spoil. Adam Treloar, 73. A bit of a down week for Adam Treloar, but yeah, he still manages to score decent even in his bad games. So happy with his consistency overall. Would just like for him to show a bit more of a ceiling moving forward. Zach Butters, 77. Again, frustrating from him. It just was a strange game for fantasy scoring that game on Thursday night, and yeah, I think we can forgive him there again, but yeah, hopefully he can bounce back next week. Zach Butters. Then on to Will Brodie, 127. He's just been a revelation so far this year, and yeah, his scoring ability has just by far exceeded everyone's expectations, I would have thought, and he's got plenty of more cash to make, Will Brodie, now, and yeah, no reason to move him on. I was actually planning to move him on potentially this week, but yeah, those plans have definitely gone out the window now, so hopefully he can keep this sensational form up, Will Brodie. Tristan Xerri, 59. Bit of a down week for him, but yeah, still the role is there, and he'll score well more often than not, Tristan Xerri. Then I had Corey Durden there, who I used to loop Jack McRae's vice-captain score, so in that spot was Nick Martin, who scored 73. He looks a great player for the Bombers, Nick Martin, and yeah, just a safe 70 he seemed, which is a great, awesome ability to have as a rookie, so he's very reliable, Nick Martin. Then Marcus Windhager I brought in this week, 54. He looked great for the Saints, actually. Yeah, he slotted in well, and yeah, I'm pretty confident he'll keep his spot in that Saints side, so hopefully he can be a good cash cow moving forward. Then on to the utility spot rather. Connor McDonald, 25. Yeah, not sure what happened there either. Same with Josh Ward. They just seemed to really struggle in that game, as did Hawthorn as a collective. So hopefully they can bounce back moving forward, as that score definitely hampers McDonald's cash generation moving forward. So he's another one that could be on the chopping block for me this week. There you have it. That's how my team performed in round 4. A slightly disappointing week for me yet again, scoring a below par 2090, but long way to go in the season, and hopefully I can build on this and just continue to improve week by week. So now I'll talk a bit about what my early trade plans are, and look, it's a bit of a tough one this week. Obviously I've got Patrick Cripps, which we'll have to see what the extent is of his hamstring injury and how long he might be out for. I did hear that he could be a slight chance to still get up for next week, which would be awesome, but probably more likely than not he'll miss. So it'll be interesting to see what I do there, whether I pay up and get an Uber Elite Premium, or I kind of look to players around his price range to save a bit of coin. Also Tom Green, I know I brought him in this week, but he kind of frustrated me a bit, so I'm probably going to hold him, but we'll see what happens there. If there's nothing else there, I might look to move him on. And probably I'll look to the bench with Connor McDonald and Josh Ward are kind of two players that are probably on the chopping block this week. If there's any rookies named, I might look to downgrade there. And I'll bring in Nathan O'Driscoll for McCartan. I've already made that move there, so happy to field him there. And not too sure what I'll do at this stage with my trades. Plenty depending on team selection come later in the week. So that's it for the video today, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, it would be much appreciated if you could like, comment, subscribe, post any questions you have for me in the comments below. Happy to give a second opinion as always. And thanks again for watching, guys, and good luck next week in round 5. Bye, guys.